All right, here we go. We are back with the Stihl MS290 with the series Average Dude mods. What I have here is a brand new piston and cylinder set for an MS290. This whole set, the whole kit and caboodle, got an intake there, air tang. The whole thing, I swear, I think it was $22. I bought it off of eBay. It's just a cheap China knockoff that I got on eBay for less than 30 for sure. I think it was $21. So anyways, we're gonna put this on there. Just having a little look-see. And we are also going to utilize a pop-up piston from the Dukes. So instead of this guy that came with the kit, we're going to use this one right here. Well, it's the same thing. The only difference, this one right here has a little teeny tiny pop-up. I don't know if you can see that. It's small. It's not much at all. But it doesn't take much. It really doesn't. So. Now, I realize that a lot of you guys don't have a clue what you're doing. And I've been there. I can remember whenever I had it was a Johnson Red, but it was a 2155 or no, 2255. It was a Johnson Red 2255, but that's the same thing as the 455 Rancher. And I was thinking about putting a 460 Rancher cylinder on it. And I was like, oh, that looks pretty complicated. And that's me. I've worked on dirt bikes and everything like since I was a wee lad, you know? So I was still intimidated by it because everything was so small. I didn't know what anything was. Don't worry, you can do it. I'm going to teach you. Now, I will warn you up front that these saws right here, as with pretty much every plastic clamshell saw, are not particularly good to work on. They can be a real pain in the arse. So, I will show you whenever it comes to the specific difficult parts. I will get the camera up close and show you what's going on. But for the most part, just watch. Air filter off. We need to go ahead and drain the fuel out of this. Shitty ass Stihl Ultra. Okay, a very important step that a lot of people don't think of is get your little box. Every time you have parts, you throw it directly into the box. And just makes everything a heck of a lot easier. All right, the carburetor. All right, I'm pretty sure you can figure out how to do everything that I've done at this point. Right here we have the actual intake boot. You've got a little ring inside. Woo woo. That sucks. And you got a ring on the outside. Make sure you don't misplace these. I gotta find that one. There it is. Put them in the box. They're crucial. All right. Yeah. Pain in the ass to work on. Ugh. These are the worst. Trying to get that plug out of there. Yep. There's another one on the bottom. Oh, I just scratched my table pretty bad. The plug right here. These chain guards, a lot of times they get really loose. I suggest going ahead and popping them off so that at least you know where they came off and stuff. There we go. All right, now I think, well, still got a little fuel left in there, don't we? Now I think we should be able to start disassembling this top handle, or this handle. What a shit heel of a design. This is awful. There's 2 screws down here. Now maybe this, yeah, there we go. All right. So far, not too bad. I think the only thing that's holding it in place now is that intake boot. So we take that intake boot and we shove it inside the hole. The fuel line from the tank is kind of holding on. There's probably some electrical wires. Ah, there's another thing up top. Another butt plug. There's no screw up there. It's just plugged, I think. Come on. All right. Well, might want to take that brake handle off first then. Oh my God. Really? Good Lord. Don't, what? I don't want to have to disassemble the fetching brake. Let me see. I'm just going to put that back in place and hopefully I can find a way around this. Be careful going back in because this is just a plastic case. You don't want to strip things out. Well, let's go ahead and yank that muffler off because I might need to get to everything from the inside. Wow, what a pain. Told you these are awful to work on. Horrible. But even though they're horrible to work on for as a, considering it's a chainsaw and stuff, the reality is I don't have to get on my back and crawl up underneath a car or anything like that. So that's nice. Always be gentle with your exhaust gasket, your muffler gasket, because you never know, you might need to reuse it. These things, studs pop right out. Okay. There's a butt plug on the inside there. And now, it should pop right out. Come on. There we go. Butt plug. If you're wondering, no, I don't think that it normally is called butt plugs by most people. I think that's a Bodie original. But I'm not sure. Maybe there's a lot of people out there that all call it a butt plug. All right. All right, let me show you. Okay, so in here we've got two wires. We got this wire right here. We're going to pop that off, and this right here we're going to slide it out. Okay, the yellow and green wire is out of place. Now the black wire, like I said, we're just gonna slide it out. Boy, that doesn't want to come out. Okay, we're gonna leave that be. What we're going to do is we're going to take this whole choke assembly. That's what this master control thing, and we just pop it out. And maybe we can just leave it on and finagle this up and around it. Now the impulse line right here is still holding on, so we've got to shove that back through. Be careful when you're doing stuff like this. Like I'm about to poke that back through with a screwdriver. Well, you always run the risk of actually poking and creating a hole in your impulse line. So remember that. Once you got it disassembled, make sure and check that you don't have holes inside it, because you did press and pull on it and push pretty hard with a pointy object. All right. Damn it, no, I'm not going to be able to do that. I got to get that black wire out. So I'm going to try and pull it through. Maybe that'll do the trick. Nope. It came through, however, I ripped my connection. So I'm going to have to pay attention to that when I put it back together. All right, there we go. Jesus, what a shit design. This is just fucking awful. All right, so. Oh, come on. Just one thing after another. Piece of shit saw. I got a piece of shit saw. It sucks, Royal Deek. All right. All right, now the first thing we should probably do is go ahead and get rid of that flywheel. Get it off of there. So let's see. Yay. This is going to be a regular lefty-loosey. Flywheels always are. And now, this is regular dude stuff. You probably don't have the right tool. We take that nut and we put it right back on there. And you get it right to where it's just flush, almost flush, with the outside of the shaft. All right? Nothing special. We just get it on there, right? And then we take that socket that we just used and a wee little hammer. And we smack it. Woo, woo. You want to keep feeling it. It will pop loose, but you want to do this in small little pops. Oh, this thing, the coil was not adjusted quite right. It's rubbing. All right, next up, that's not working. We take a screwdriver. Now, you got to be careful with doing this stuff. You really do. Because you're wanting to wedge the screwdriver in to apply pressure to that flywheel so that whenever you tap it, you're tapping the crankshaft is what you're doing. It's more likely to just pop loose. That did it. There we go. Normally, you don't have to hit it real hard. Sometimes you might have to heat up the flywheel, you know, but mostly they come off just like that. All right. It was just barely rubbing, but it was rubbing. Okay. Now we're going to deal with this clutch side. Ow. Now remove that C-clip. You will have to actually remove the entire clutch assembly. Now, in order to do this, we need some string. String? Why do you need string, Bodie? All right. Clutches always come off righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. I'm sorry, backwards. Righty-loosey, lefty-tighty. So we're going to be spinning this to the right with clockwise in order to get that clutch to come off. So what you want to do is you want to look down in that hole and watch whenever that piston covers up the exhaust port. Once it covers up the exhaust port, you are safe to shove in a bunch of string. If you do it too early, you can go through the exhaust port, and that can cause a binding with the string as the piston then continues its route up, all the way up, right? So that's the purpose. Now, you can, I have done it, you can do this with just a regular wrench setup, but hey, I've got this. And that was right. I was going what is traditionally known as putting something on, all right? Well, there you go. It's backwards. Get that worm gear off of there. And probably need to take that oiler off. Yeah, because that's bolted on to everything. So you need to at least unbolt that oiler. Man, this thing's a pain in the A. All right, so the oiler is loose. I don't think that we'll need to do anything more than that. Just have it loose, have it still hooked up to its hoses and everything. The reason I don't want to take it off is simple. It gets nasty. You start spilling oil all over the place. So we take these oiler screws, I guess put them in the box, might as well. And now we go in from the bottom. There should be 4 screws or bolts holding everything together. Can't handle the truth. God dang it. Mother trucker. Okay, so, wow. In the business, we call that on there. That is on there, bro. Well, we got to get a bigger, better means of breaking those bolts loose. All right, so we got this set up. There we go. Okay, there we go. There's that. And while I'm here, there's a grounding wire on the side of the cylinder here. That's what's used to shut everything off, I guess. Go ahead and remove that. All right, now we'll go back with the fast tool. I'm going to go underneath everything here and hopefully pop it up. There we go. That's good. The two halves are already separating. Don't worry about that. It might be best actually to go ahead and take it off in two pieces. Oh, the piston's wanting to go. There we go. Rotate it down to bottom dead center. Boy, the crank's wanting to come up with it. Which is a problem and means that we've got to take that oiler off. Shit. Well, it's not a big deal to take the oiler off. It's just probably going to create a mess. Oiler is removed. All right, there's the top half. Well, it looks like the bottom half wants to stay in place, so we're going to leave it there. Here's a clamp for the intake boot. There's the intake boot. And ooh. Well, this is definitely, this has definitely been put back together before. As I suspected, this is, I think, a brand new piston and cylinder. A full rebuild, if you will. There we go. There we have it. Yeah. Yeah, that's a brand new piston. Yep. All right. So we've got it all torn down. And we're ready to go. So now I am going to, someone stole my pressure washer down in Georgia before I could bring it up here. So I need a new pressure washer. I need to pressure wash this junk. So I'm going to go get a pressure washer because working with it is a real pain if it's dirty like this. Nasty. All right. Until we meet again.